hello, or ni hao, I should say, because my Odyssey is in China. Of course I'm Chinese, but I hardly know the language or the culture. Oftentimes, I found myself wishing that I knew more about my background. The purpose of my journey is to learn about my ancestry and appreciate my background. My Odyssey starts on Tuesday, June 19th, and ends on Wednesday, July 4th. First of all, I'll bring sunglasses, sunscreen, plenty of water bottles, changes of clothes, my camera, my iPod, my laptop, basic toiletries, some snacks, and a backpack. On Tuesday, June 19th, I'll depart from Hopkins Airport at 8:29 a.m. I'll arrive in Beijing, the capital of China, at 3:15 p.m. on Wednesday. After arriving in Beijing, I'll take a taxi to Langham Place, the hotel I'll be staying in. On June 21st and 22nd, I'll visit the Great Wall of China. It symbolizes the unification of China. It's the longest man-made structure in the world, built for the main purpose of protecting China from northern invaders. Its total length is estimated to be 5,500 miles. As Mao Zedong once said, "He who has not climbed the Great Wall is not a true man." On June 21st, I'll take a private tour of a small section of the Great Wall, costing $395. I'll get to sleep over at one of the wall's checkpoints and hike 12 kilometers the next day. Second, I'll visit Heaven Lake, located on the border between China and North Korea on Baekdu Mountain. The lake resulted from a volcanic eruption in 969 AD. It is very pretty. On June 23rd, I'll fly from Beijing to Shenyang. After making my way to Heaven Lake, I can relax and sleep in a canvas yurt overnight. The next day, I'll return to Beijing. My third destination is the Forbidden City. Symbolizing grand imperialism, it was home to 24 emperors of the Ming and Qing dynasties. It took 14 years to build. The Forbidden City is surrounded by a 10-meter-high wall, covers 172 acres of land, and contains 980 buildings with 8,704 rooms total. On June 26th, I'll go on a 10-hour tour of the Forbidden City. I'll get to see Tiananmen Square, the Temple of Heaven, and the Summer Palace. Next, I'll stop by the Olympic Green. Beijing's bird's nest and water cube symbolize modern architecture and internationalism. The 2008 Olympics were hosted in Beijing. Construction of both the bird's nest and the water cube began on December 24, 2003. The bird's nest covers 258,000 square meters and holds 91,000 people. About 7,000 people constructed it from 46,000 tons of steel. The bird's nest cost over $500 million to construct. Beijing's water cube was completed at the end of 2007. It was where the swimming and diving portions of the 2008 Olympics took place. It takes up about 80,000 square meters and has 6,000 permanent seats. On June 27th, I'll get to tour the bird's nest and water cube for 5 hours. Fifth, I'll see the mighty Terracotta Army. The Terracotta Warriors symbolize the power of the Qin dynasty and the afterlife. China's first emperor, Emperor Qin Shi Huang, had thousands of clay soldiers made and buried with him, each soldier being distinctly different. Each life-size terracotta soldier was modeled after one of Emperor Qin's actual soldiers. About 1,900 clay soldiers have been uncovered, but there are estimated to be around 8,000 clay soldiers. The clay army is made complete with terracotta weapons, chariots, and even horses to protect the first emperor in the afterlife. On June 28th, I'll fly over to Xi'an and check into another hotel before seeing the Terracotta Warriors, as well as the Hanyang tombs, which were built for Emperor Jingdi of the Han Dynasty. After that, my next stop is way in the far west of China, Lhasa, Tibet. Located on Red Hill in the center of Lhasa is the Potala Palace. It is the highest ancient palace in the world, reaching over 3,700 meters above sea level. It was originally built in 637 AD as a gift for Emperor Songtsen Gampo's new bride. After Emperor Gampo's rule, his palace was nearly destroyed. In 1645, it was rebuilt as a seat of government for the 5th Dalai Lama. This was the main residence of the Dalai Lama until the 14th Dalai Lama fled to India during the 1959 Tibetan uprising. This 13-story palace has more than 1,000 rooms and covers over 130,000 square meters. On June 29th, I'll fly from Xi'an to Chengdu to Lhasa, Tibet, and explore Potala Palace. My final destination is the Big Buddha, or the Tian Tan Buddha, located on Lantau Island in Hong Kong. Being a huge symbol of Buddhism, it sits 34 meters tall, is made of 202 pieces of bronze, and cost about $68 million to construct. There are 268 steps to the top of the temple. Underneath the statue is a very large bell that rings every 7 minutes, but only 108 times a day, symbolizing the release of 108 different human sufferings. Actually, I visited the Big Buddha with my family in the summer of 2007. Of course, I couldn't leave China without visiting it again. On July 1st, I'll fly from Xi'an to Hong Kong and take a taxi to the Big Buddha. After climbing the stairs and enjoying the view, I'll fly back to Langham Place in Beijing. On July 4th, I will conclude my odyssey and fly back to Cleveland. As for reference materials, I'll bring a Chinese-English dictionary as well as maps of all my destinations. Here's my map of China. To review, I'll arrive at the Beijing International Airport on June 20th. On June 21st, I'll sleep over at the Great Wall and return to my hotel on June 22nd. On June 23rd, I'll fly over to Shenyang and enjoy the sights of Heaven Lake. I'll return to Beijing on June 24th and relax on the 25th. On June 26th, I'll tour the Forbidden City, and on June 27th, I'll visit the Bird's Nest and Water Cube. On June 28th, I'll fly over to Xi'an and see the Terracotta Army. I'll stay overnight at Xi'an Holiday Inn and fly over to Lhasa, Tibet on the 29th. I'll explore the Potala Palace Museum and return to Xi'an Holiday Inn. I'll relax on June 30th and fly to Hong Kong on July 1st. After seeing the Big Buddha, I'll fly back to Xi'an and then back to Beijing. I'll relax on July 2nd and 3rd, and on July 4th, I'll catch a 2 p.m. flight back to Cleveland. And now the expenses. All of the flights and Flight Plus hotel combos will cost $9,476. All of the taxi riding without tips will cost $510.44. All of the private tours will cost $904. Assuming that I'll spend $10 on each meal, any meals that aren't covered by airplanes or private tours will cost $290. Hotels that aren't in Flight Plus hotel packages will cost $164.92. Finally, I can easily expect to spend $300 with all the stores and attractions in Beijing. That brings the grand total cost of my odyssey to $11,645.36. That concludes my odyssey. Thank you for watching.